In this series, we are covering the whole Bible verse by verse, and today we have come to Genesis chapter 6. In Genesis chapter 6, we are reading from verse 1 to verse 8. Now it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born to them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were beautiful, and they took wives for themselves of all whom they chose. And the Lord said, My spirit shall not strive with man forever, for he is indeed flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. There were giants on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God came in to the daughters of men, and they bore children to them. Those were the mighty men who were of old, men of renown. Then the Lord saw that the wickedness of man was great on the earth, and that every intent of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And the Lord was sorry for that he had made man on the earth, and he was grieved in his spirit. So the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, creeping thing and birds of the air, for I am sorry that I have made them. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. So in this passage, we are seeing a controversial subject. It came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born to them. Naturally, Adam and Eve and Cain went away, and there were other children born to them. So we have daughters were born to them. And that the sons of God saw the daughters of men. Here is the controversial subject. The sons of God, who are they? The sons of God can be like us, sons of God, whether they are in human form, whether they are in different form, we do not know. But then some people say the angels became the sons of God. That is not possible. Angels have wings, or they can fly, and they are in the spirit form, and they go from place to place, and they are the servants of God. So here comes the sons of God saw the daughters of men. So it is controversial to believe that the God himself had some sons, some people, some men. I do not know how they are, whether they were big, and whether they had the human form, and how they came and saw the daughters of men, that they were beautiful. So sons of God existed from many years. They all the way from heaven they came down. They are in a different galaxy, or they are not staying in the earth. We do not know. But it says they saw the daughters of men, that they were beautiful, and they took wives for themselves of all whom they chose. So there is a possibility that these sons of God, who were attracted to the women of these men, found them beautiful, and they had sex with them. And because they had sex, they took them as their wives for themselves, and they lived. I do not know whether they lived on the face of the earth, or they went back to their place, but the women bore children. So next verse says, And the Lord said, My spirit shall not strive with man forever, for he is indeed flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. So why should this verse come in between? The Lord said, My spirit shall not strive with man forever. Whether the sons of God meant a peculiar race of created beings, and they had the wives, and whether they are part of the mankind, or only God is talking about the mankind here, Adam and Eve and their descendants. For he is indeed flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. So Adam and Eve, when they were created, they lived for many years, more than 900 years. And there were so many men, so many women who have lived 900 years, 800 years, 600 years, and all that going on. But here it says, the days shall be 120 years. So man's lifespan is going to be 120 years. We see Moses lived for 120 years, and many of us who live during these days count ourselves that we can long to be living like Moses for 120 years. So our health, if it is okay, then we will live for 120 years. Our spirit has faith in God, then we live for 120 years. So there were giants on the earth in those days and also afterward. See, it's a complicated verse. There were giants, verse 4, there were giants on the earth in those days and also afterward, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bore children to them. Those were the mighty men who were of old, men of renown. So possibly the giants on the earth in those days were the product of these sons of God with the women of this earth. So they had a sort of sons of God took daughters of men as wives, and so out of them came out the product or whatever issues they had. Issues in the sense, not issues, the problems, issue. That means products. So they were the great men, and there were giants living on the earth. It's a short note here from verse 1 to 4 and in the chapter 6. Very short passage, but it means, or it gives a lot of meaning. So this subject is still open, and many people talk about it, and we do not want to contradict them or purposely say anything about them. All we want to believe is the word of God. In the word of God, the sons of God can be actually the sons of God or the children of men, or on the face they were created, we do not know. But we take for granted the sons of God existed, and we take for granted that daughters of women, men were very beautiful, and these sons of God took wives for themselves of whom they chose. Now, out of the products or the issues which the children born to them were great giants. And that is how in David's time, when we see the giant Goliath, a 9 feet tall man coming to kill David. So at that time only we can recognize there must have been more Goliaths also. Only one Goliath we see in the record. There can be some more giants, because the word of God says there were giants on the earth in those days. But naturally later they were killed, it says, because Noah and his family alone, later we are going to see that, survived during the flood. But then how can these giants lived again? Whether any of their descendant, Noah's descendant, became giant, we do not know. So these were the mighty men who are of old, men of renown. They lived in the earlier passage, in earlier times, when before Noah. Then the Lord saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every intent of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continuously. This is a general statement here. The Lord saw that the wickedness of man was great on the earth, and that every intent of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continuously. So general statement given here. And the Lord was sorry that he had made man on the earth, and he was grieved in his heart. This is a very remarkable verse, that God once repented that why did he create mankind? So I also wonder, although we live on the face of the earth, but God is continuously thinking that we are all not worthy of His family or worthy of His creation. So He was sorry that He had made on earth the earth. He was grieved in His spirit. So the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, creeping thing and birds of the air, for I am sorry that I have made them. So Genesis chapter 1, we have the account of the creation record. And immediately within the first chapter 6, we come across the passage in which Lord is grieved in His spirit. So He has decided to destroy everybody, everything that He created, every creeping thing or fish of the air or fish of the sea, and what He created in the face of the earth, animals in the forest or on the earth, and then so many things were created by Him on the face of the earth. But God wanted to destroy, but it says Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. Verse 8, Noah found grace in the sight of the earth. So what is the genealogy of Noah? We'll just read that little verse 9 and 10. This is the genealogy of Noah. Noah was a just man, perfect in his generations. Noah walked with God, and Noah begot 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And the earth was also corrupt. Verse 11, before the God, but the earth was filled with violence. So God looked upon the earth, and indeed it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted their way on the earth. So mankind, after fallen in sin, although he multiplied on the face of the earth, they were all corrupted, says. So God wanted to destroy all of them, but Noah, with his 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, found grace in the sight of God, and He has got a great plan for them in the future. So whole mankind comes, or they grow in the number and multiply on the face of the earth after Noah. So before Noah, there is a story. So all these 5 chapters covered that story, and these sons of God and great people, the giants, existed in the first passage of chapter 6 we see, and the second passage we see the verse 9 to 12, that when God looked at Noah, he was a righteous man, but he had 3 children, and there is a plan of God how He went destroying the world. We'll see next time. Thank you for watching. God will bless you, and watch all the episodes in the series. Thank you.